Welcome back to the potential finale of the series against Machi Esports and Taipei J-Team. So far, we have seen a lot of back and forth. J-Team broke the curse, but in Game 3, they fell back down again as an early tempo, and a surprising Lulu hidden weapon coming in from Li Kai shut the entire composition down. We'll see what they draft for in Game 4 here. I'm Clement, and this is Nightstar, and these are our sponsors, CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. This is J-Team now with their hopes of Worlds on the line. This is the very last defense. They have to win here to take it to Game 5 if they want to continue. A lot of different things that we have mentioned throughout this series. I'm just going to start with my personal pet peeve. No more LeBlanc. Please, please. Mission LeBlanc is too risk averse to actually make it worthwhile. Please put him on something else. Please play front to back. Please have an easier game plan. Do not try to contest tempo against Machi. Try to smash them in 5v5. That's my take.
That is definitely a J-Team strategy that they were trying to use a lot towards the end of the regular season. And this is a team that's been very comfortable playing a lot of scaling. They've a bit to a fault, perhaps. Just being overly reliant on, hey, we just play teamfight champs and we play for late game scaling team fights. But in this case, like, they're trying to force their players onto picks that just don't fit their playstyle, don't make sense. And while Hana on the Lee Sin performed admirably, I would say, still not the impact that you expect to see out of a Lee Sin pick. And now J-Team, they will swap over to red side, and it does mean that we could see Aphelios Lee Sin first rotation J-Team.
Oh, whoa, no. I don't mind the Aphelios. Lee Sin, I find a little bit suspect because you're not really picking up early tempo. In the late game, I actually feel like Crescent Guard is a lot better to just protecting backlines.
Yep.
They will ban out the Diana instead, though. Interesting decision here by Machi. Diana was the go-to pick.
All right.
Machi are on the Lee Sin train. At least it's swap side, I guess.
They're just saying, all right. You guys can have the Aphelios. We'll get the Lee Sin here. Varus is left available, so they will be able to pick that one up for themselves. I don't know what they're really scared of for the side from Hana's Lee Sin, but apparently it's enough to warrant the takeaway. And J-Team, this time, they should pick up the Thresh. There's no Lee Sin to pick up for R2. You can just go ahead and lock in your Thresh here and be perfectly fine, unless, wait for it,
What could they possibly go here? Oh no!
Oh,
no.
Yeah!
Why are you so happy about Trundle? The Trundle game, I have to say that, like, it wasn't completely Hana's fault. Like, his lanes weren't going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But for a champion that does like 28% of max HP damage, doing 2,000 damage a game is not going to cut it. And now Machi is going to teach J-Team how to play LeBlanc Lee Sin.
Yeah.
It's about time you guys learn this lesson. J-Team might be responding with the Lissandra, which is the standard pick, but it does mean that Mission is going to be lacking a lot of potential in these late game team fights.
It
Lissandra
also
only
means
half a control range.
He's still kind of put on the responsibility of answering roams. And if he's stuck, if he tries to 1-3-1, Lissandra isn't exactly the best scaling of champions. So it feels even worse if he ends up just kind of farming out lanes nonstop. We'll have to see how it plays out here. And Aphelios Trundle, not the worst of lanes if you do send it into that bottom lane. Of course, really dependent on the support pick coming in from Machi before you want to toss it into that lane. And it should be, I feel like, a bunch of top lane bans. You ban
Honestly,
the Jace.
if Machi just banned Gwen, I feel like they win. That is
Machi,
the answer in my
they
heart.
should
Okay,
ban
they just
Gwen,
banned
and
Gwen.
there it is.
It's
Yep.
over. Goodbye. Just take away carry potential from Rest. If he plays Kennen, Gnar, so be it. You can deal with those champions. They can't outplay you as much.
It's going to be Gnar. I'm ready. Classic Rest
Does Gnar even
champion.
fit in this comp? I don't think Gnar fits in a comp where you're trying to burst someone.
They do have a lot of CC potential if they do get the Gnar here, but the Gnar also just doesn't give them
GP's a lot
damage.
GP's a lot better.
And GP fits a lot better here. I definitely agree with that. Also, just plenty of AoE terrain control coming in from this squad. You have the pillar coming in from Trundle. You have the ultimate coming in from GP, and you also have the lockdown coming in from Lissandra. So all around great stuff. But there's the counter pick for Likai. They're just all aboard, just hard countering, making sure that Rest doesn't get the opportunity to have a fun
why doesn't
time.
Rest pick this? Why doesn't Rest go last pick? I don't think any support is actually worth hiding at this point. But this is one of the hardest counters in top lane for the GP, because the double tap can take away barrels so easily, and you actually outrange him most of the time. So, oof.
Yeah, and the big thing is, now that they've locked in the Rel, the Trundle's not enough to influence that top lane matchup because of the fact that Likai does have a dash available to him. So, rough time all around. We need to see an improvement coming in from Hana. This time around, he has, I guess, a little bit more CC to play around from his squad to actually lock down targets after that pillar. Maybe he was a little bit concerned the first time around, but...
all right, these are going to be the drafts here. Machi with a full tempo team composition. They are going to teach J-Team how to play Lee Sin and LeBlanc combo. I'm looking forward to some early level jungle cheeses, maybe like just half a side clear into just full gank into mid lane. And they still have 1-3-1 later on. It might not be the strongest of 1-3-1 leads, but it's still definitely there. On the other side, I think we have much more of like a teamfight kite combination from J-Team. So at the very least, they're playing something that they're comfortable with, and I don't have to watch Mission play LeBlanc. So I think those are some pluses. But overall, I still have to give the draft over to Machi. I feel like this is a much more direct and powerful draft.
Yep. You're going to be able to really stomp lane with this Lee Sin Lucian combination, and then you have the Lee Sin LeBlanc combination. Yes, you're not going to necessarily be able to delete a Lissandra, but wherever you go with this duo, it should result in a kill, whether or not. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not so whether or not it's
weird.
Rest or Lil V. It's like 90% going to be Rest. If he's 0-5 by 15 minutes, I'm not surprised.
It could definitely be the case here. We are being pretty down on J-Team, but they have came back from more more
tougher
dodgy situations.
Maybe?
Yep, that's definitely true. So let's take a look here. It's just going to be a 5-point spread on both sides, but J-Team should have the lead onto Koala. We'll get the bone plating at the very least. Taking a look at the runes. Yes! Yes! We have PTA. No more Predator Trundle for you. Rest gets spotted, though. Early Sonic Wave onto Rest, and he might... okay, he should be okay. Just doesn't get the... He probably needs to base here, but he'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll be able to get the recall off. Likai trying to stop. Does he actually dash? Okay. I was about to say, that's pretty bold. Try and stop the back there. Don't know if a tower shot's worth that trade. And yeah, besides the delayed back, everything is going to be stock standard. It's going to be a bot side start from both these junglers. It's going to be a lot of top side focus because it is a Lucian GP. You want to prop up the GP, but you also want to make sure that this Lucian doesn't get ganked. That's the goal from both these junglers here. And it's time to see if this PTA version will be a little bit more successful.
I will tell you this. With the PTA, I don't expect him to give over double scuttle. At the very least, it should be a double scuttle start. We'll see what actually happens here as Trundle does get the leash into the top side. And early on, you know, Gameplank does trade okay against the Lucian. We are going to get the level 2 gank. This is how you play LeBlanc Lee Sin. J-Team, look at this. This is how you play it. This is what you do with it. Level 2 red cheese. You have to go in early. You're supposed to snowball this.
And what do you know? That's exactly what happens. Gemini gets first blood here. Great start for the side of Machi. This is definitely bread and butter stuff.
And I want to say, Jimmy didn't even land the chain. It still worked.
Yeah.
So
they forced it, and it still pays off. They do lose the flash onto Lee Sin, but given how mobile of a champion he is, definitely not an issue there. And Mission, level 2, doesn't have escape, so, you know, all he can do is die.
Oh, he was a little too greedy on the flash. Like, Mission probably needed a flash early on that one.
Yep.
But he waited until Gemini did the turnaround. I'm not sure why you don't flash that, though. I feel like you flash early just to make sure LeBlanc doesn't snowball on you. But it is what it is here, and I hate to be right, but I called it. The way you play this is you actually cheese early on and get kills. Now, Lekai might be in some trouble, but the
doesn't have the dash.
Don't land.
Yeah.
Does have to burn flash?
Mm-hmm. So the big thing was he used the dash just before the gank, which means he has to burn the flash, and now he's got to be a little bit more careful how he plays this lane out. So Hana at least somewhat successful in his goals. However,
Woody does miss out on the crowd control and also the Q. So, well, he basically missed everything. Yeah, in Chinese we call that ugly. It's just like, oh, that was a little bit ugly. That's the common phrase to describe that. But hopefully J-Team can rebound here. I feel like they are putting a lot of eggs into the Aphelios basket once again. Like, there's globals to help him out. Trundle's coming in to make sure he maybe gets a kill here. And we have seen that strategy being successful. If you can't reach Lil V, you will be able to pop off. They're holding a freeze right now. And looks like Machi is going to venture forward for that canyon. The cannon is the bait right here. Let's see if Atlan takes it. In comes the crowd control. They do only get Koala, but there's a lot of damage going in on the other side. In goes Hana, and there is a flash here, but he doesn't get it off in time. Goes down, and that's 2 kills for Gemini's efforts here.
And the Sonic Wave did already land, so he didn't want to flash in that situation, and so we get to see the replay. Gemini's just here on the play and lands the Q, takes it in, and just slams the ground. Easy does it. So really, really nice reads coming in from Gemini, seeing the pathing, knowing the pathing from Hana, and we're going to see a level differential here coming out already, as it's going to be that extra kill EXP making up the difference. And yeah, the big difference here for J-Team is that they have a composition that can play around Lil V this time around. We saw in the previous 2 Aphelios games, it was very difficult for Lil V to play because there wasn't a whole lot of CC that was really saved for him to help him survive, to help create space for him. This time around, he's got plenty of those. Has the AoE zoning tools from the Lissandra and GP ults, which will prove to be vital in keeping him alive. And at the same time, you have the Trundle pillars to try and cut off any flank angles coming in from Machi. But still Machi.
Double chains onto Mission, and it's going to force him back pretty soon. No flash either. He's going to find it a little bit difficult to stay in this lane. In the meantime, Jimian also has to be aware of Trundle lurking towards his position, coming in from the left side. He should be spotted here. Indeed, the pings do go down, and Lekai will escort Hana away from the mid lane. In the meantime, we do have Gemini now prowling around the corner. If he finds a Sonic Wave, it could very well just be Mission getting destroyed here. He's still holding on to Frozen Tomb. So they're not going to go for a super risky play. Machi turning around for the scuttle instead. And they have the inside track on both ends. Oh, Aphelios is going to come over first, though.
Yeah, and Aphelios actually walking away is going to make the difference. And that, at the very least, secures a little bit of EXP for Hana to keep him a little bit more relevant here. Still, a good lead for Machi, as I would say most importantly for J-Team is the fact that Rest is actually able to play this lane out. Only down 10 CS is a bit of a miracle, but because of the flash burned onto Likai, he has to play super, super careful.
This is an incredibly difficult lane to play for Gangplank because, well, you could do that over and over again. Lucian is very mobile, can dodge out of your barrel chain, and you don't get that many barrel chains stored up. So once he dodges past that, you're just kind of sitting there, and you have to close melee range with him. So it usually is a Lucian favorite lane, like most Lucian lanes are played out. No surprises right there. Does seem like Machi will be going for a Herald, and this is something I have noticed from Atlan's builds a lot. He doesn't always go for Serrated Dirk. A lot of times he actually goes quantity over quality and opts into that Cauliflower's Warhammer.
Yeah, the Warhammer would allow him to get the Muramana or Manamune completed earlier, which is a big difference when it comes to getting the Muramana online. It can take awful long time to get the upgraded version in some cases if you aren't able to just constantly pump spells out onto the minions. And it will be that Rift Herald obtained by Machi. We'll look to hopefully
going to be open up onto Rel, going to come through on the flip side, and Gmian is in a lot of trouble. 4 members here coming in from J-Team, and they do take down Gmian at the end. Cannon Barrage, a whole team effort being used right here. All 5 members joining in on the fun. So Machi, yeah, they definitely under-considered the possibility of that play, but now Rest has to go away. He does have the flash to see how he uses it. Straight kick and flashes out of the Sonic Wave. Well done on his part.
I'm actually very surprised, but collapse mid.
Hana coming in with the pillar, slows Koala, but Alan should be able to get out. Is going to leave his support behind. And that's a second pick in the mid lane for J-Team, showing some signs of life.
That's definitely been an issue for this bottom lane. It's just walking up too far up to these towers, thinking that they're safer than they are. But going back to that topside play, I definitely thought that we would see Gemini go for the kick flash onto the GP, boot him towards the Lucian pick. Definitely would have been a kill, or at least a lot closer to a kill, as Rest, even with the flash, wouldn't have been able to get enough distance fast enough before a lot of that Lucian damage would get pumped into him. And now J-Team, they've actually carved themselves out of 400 gold lead, surprisingly enough, and not a bad look. That pick onto Gmian, like, if he ever gets too far up, this is what Lysandra does do to the LeBlanc, is lock her down. And if you have follow-up lockdown, that's where you're going to see this Lysandra pick really shine.
Once again, we're going to see Gemini dropping down the Herald in the bot lane. This has been a very consistent strategy against the Aphelios that they've employed. Just making sure that Aphelios doesn't get anywhere to farm on the map. But they're not going to get the full tower, though. Mission, however, again in trouble. Likai going to flash forward. Mission pops the Frozen Tomb. He does have the flash. Can he escape? No, the culling is there for him. And that is going to be the second death for this Lysandra. In the meantime, Machi bleeding out on towers all across the map. Already 2 plates gone in the top. And because of that play, there's another 2 plates gone in the top. Might even be 3 plates when Gmian finally arrives there. So a bit of back and forth trading. They put themselves on the Drake timer, but I don't think J-Team are too unhappy with that trade overall.
Yeah, it's not too bad in that regard. Being able to get more gold onto this Gangplank is absolutely vital. However, there is a lot of range on the side of Machi, which might be a little bit difficult, but see the chain land, and Likai, he just full commits, has the culling afterwards as well, and it's just easy pickings for these solo laners. The solo laners shining, and that's exactly when Machi are incredibly dangerous. So, it's going to be a rough mid game, but at the very least, they are even in gold. And if you're looking at the scaling's pretty good on the side of J Team, having the gangplank. And while the Lissandra doesn't scale her as a champion herself, because of how she fits into the composition, it's going to help out quite considerably.
Yeah, you have to walk over the Lissandra with the Frozen Tomb in a team fight, and that is not easy to do whatsoever. So we'll see how J-Team fares in the 5v5. So far, they're still charging up. And I do want to mention, again, our storylines for Machi. They were the first seed last Worlds for the PCS region, even over PSG Talon. They lost both of their solo laners, which were the main reason they were able to secure that first seed in Mission, and then lost PK to Beyond Gaming. But here they are with 2 new rookies, still doing the same things, still having great success in the solo lanes. It's truly a miracle that this organization has been able to stay in the same caliber. As we find a stun onto Lil V, in comes the Dragon's Rage, and there goes Aphelios. But on the flip side, Koala might be finding himself in a large amount of trouble, as Mission isn't going to take a one-way ticket in, and the J-Team burn the cannon barrage, but don't find the kill.
And Koala actually survives that, will burn his flash, and now Machi, they turn their attention over towards this blue buff. Dragon is up in 2.5 minutes. That will be something to look out for. But taking a look at the items, we are going to see Triforce come out onto rest. I love this choice because usually a lot of top laners can get a little bit too autopilot in their builds, and Divine Sunder not going to provide a whole lot of usage in this composition, at least against the side of Machi, as they are pretty darn squishy. You just want more damage, and we get to see the replay. Lil V walks up a little bit too close to the sun, and he gets corrupted.
Gets melted down by the big feet coming in from Gemini. He's probably got some foot marks on his face after that one. We'll see if Rest can find himself out of here. He knows that Lee Sin is around this corner. But if he's not spotted, he will be fine. But if he pokes his head out, he's dead. So we'll see if the Pirate can stay safe right here. That was some risky positioning coming in for Rest. Knowing that the Lee Sin was around, but still trying to maybe get a lucky trade in against the Lucian. He will be just completely fine, though, and we're going to be taking a look at the gold graph. So far, only a 1k advantage for Machi, even though it's felt a lot more one-sided because of all the picks. J-Team, due to the farm, due to Gangplank, and his barrel mechanic, are still holding it quite strong, and now Gemian finds himself against Everfrost Subjugate. He should be going down. One more chomp, and goodbye, says Hana. Another big win for J-Team on the map. They head towards Herald.
And what do you know? It looks like both of these LeBlancs not doing so hot here. Mission hasn't done much on the LeBlanc at all, and Gemian, he's tried to do something. Unfortunately, against the Lissandra, he hasn't had the opportunity to do anything. And now Likai is in trouble. He's got 4 people barreling down onto his face.
Oof. Trundle Pillar comes through. Woody about to use the crash down. Likai gets out, but Magnet Storm is going to find him. Exhaust used on the other end. And Lil V even just gets away on the bottom side. Just another day in the J-Team schedule for Lil V. He knows that bot lane is not the place to be right now. As Gemian going to find a bit of damage on Woody. Pretty inconsequential. But J-Team will find the turret plus the Herald. So great find from them, and they do sneak back the gold lead with the scaling composition.
It's just a bit more tit for tat this time around, which I do like when it comes to gameplay. At the very least, J-Team are able to fight back, and okay, teleport's even coming in. They really want this Herald.
Okay, Lissandra's coming in. That was a little bit risky. I do not have fond memories of Trundle, so I'm glad that J-Team do decide to come in and bail him out at the very last second. Probably a little hairier than it should have been. You have Solar Flare directly onto Mission, but he should be able to get... Oh, he gets interrupted midway! Will still survive, though. Gets the Aftershock and should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, but now we have Mountain Rift coming in. Mountain Soul on the table as Machi were able to get the third dragon 30 seconds ago, and that puts J-Team on a bit of a timer as it pretty much nullifies the Lissandra damage if they are able to get Soul, and damage will be solely reliant on Lil V. And given the fact that he once again is building towards Collector, this Mountain Soul is going to absolutely kill his usage or carry potential in the mid game until he gets the Lord Doms.
Mission gonna get caught out once again. I don't think there's much that he can actually do here. We'll just have to pop the flash. Yep, does still get out, but that's pretty crucial as he needs that for the Dragon Soul fight, as you've been mentioning. No flash on Lissandra makes her a lot harder to reach the backline there. So still a good find for Machi in the end.
Yeah, at the very least, they will have flash available on the Trundle, so if he needs to go for flash over the wall to try and steal the dragon, it will be possible. They still have flash available onto Aphelios, which is basically what their composition is built around at this point in time. And a Rift Herald plopped down in the mid lane will secure that mid lane tower, but it's just a matter of does Machi decide to try and collapse.
Koala level 7 only strays way too close to J-Team and should be paying the price for it as Triforce proc about to come out. Varus misses the ultimate. That's already Koala gone, and then Atlan is getting nowhere. Does finally snipe out Mission on the very end, so one traded back, but J-Team are in full control as they chase down the rest of the members from Machi. Koala has been playing super weirdly this game. That's the second overreach, a very obvious overreach from him that costs him his life, and also Atlan's complete summoners. Now J-Team have a great chance. Woody is going to prop down the stun. Yeah, I don't see them finding the kill here. So Machi should just be backing out here. I think they're just delaying backs at this point and trying to wrestle Vision back.
Unfortunately, not a whole lot of vision to wrestle back, but to your point about Koala, he's trying to set up the 1-3-1 flank angles that we were talking about in games 1 and 2.
Blue team's turret has
He did forget
too
that
close to Trundle.
we kind of wanted his solo laners to do that, and this time around they don't need the solo laners to do that in this game. They can fight a more honest team fight and just have the LeBlanc operate on the side, but that's when you're stuck in a choke point, especially against Mountain Rift, not a whole lot of space to maneuver, and that's exactly where J-Team's composition is going to succeed full-heartedly. They have Pillar, they have Gangplank Ultimate, they have Lissandra Ultimate. There's just so much zone control coming out from the squad.
G-Man going to start up on Hana once again, but he does have Woody right next to him, so I don't think they're going to go full-on commit to this burst. G-Man over the wall in red. And looks like a zoning away mission for G-Man to find some, Leakai to find some damage on that top lane.
Battle for red.
Oh no! Gemini takes the blast cone the wrong way! He goes back into the enemy team composition and will be taken out immediately.
Yeah, now J-Team get themselves 2 picks here. Lil V gets on the board as well, and it's just going to turn towards this early Baron.
Leakai once again interrupted with the culling. Barrels don't land. G-Man going for the back line, prompting a lot of abilities, but he's not going to fully commit here. This is looking mighty dangerous for the side of JT as their backline are very low. In goes Leakai to find one kill onto Mission, but he goes down as well. The cannon barrage and the Baron buff will be secured, and they take all the kills as well. J-Team come roaring back into the game now with a 6,000 gold advantage.
And the team fight power is paying off massive dividends as Machi.
I don't know what they've been doing for the last 2 minutes. It's the most dumbfounding thing ever.
You have Mountain Dragon coming up right now. If only you didn't die those extra couple of times, giving extra gold into the hands of J-Team. You could have just staked everything onto this fight, but now they're down 6k gold. Even if Gemini gets the steal here, still going to be a bit of a rough time as they would be fighting undermanned, but that's not going to happen. The steal doesn't even start out. G-Man goes in.
Still packs quite a punch right here, but J-Team will get out just completely okay. And these 2 minutes for Machi have been nothing but turbulence. They were only down 1,000 gold, and then they lost 5,000 gold in 2 minutes. So, a completely unnecessary dodge from... And Gemini just kicks himself the wrong way and dies. So, I guess it happens, but extremely costly mistakes from Machi.
Yep.
Very unforced errors, and... they're going to find it difficult to claw themselves back into this one as we have the calling once again from the rest. A lot more members here from Machi. J-Team not really rotating with the same tempo right here. Hana at least should be going down. It's at least a kill back.
Yeah, and it's all about the picks for Machi. Because of how much zone control is on the side of J-Team, it's so difficult for them to try and team fight. They just have to play more of that Smoke and Mirrors guerrilla-style warfare. Mission will be able to push up in this side lane, though. And, I mean... we talk about him not being stuck in the side lane. But he has a Baron buff, so he can do this now.
Actually, the Baron buff is on Woody. Mission himself doesn't have the Baron buff. Let's see if he can dodge away from this one. Oh, he takes a Sonic Wave to the face. W is down. Everfrost is there. Cannon Barrage in to save him. G-Man should be able to get away just fine. Gemini now the target because he's low HP. Woody falling down, will die, and there is still a TP being committed.
Hello,
Mission
Ref.
coming back with the Frozen Tome to save things. The barrel chain doesn't land because of the flash. Koala trying to go in once more, but Lil V is coming in. Not sure you want to do that, buddy, as Leona gets slowed down. Barrel once again missing for rest. I was very close to securing a kill. Can't find it. And at the end of the day, Machi get their 1 kill back, and that was a Baron buff kill too.
Yeah, now Machi able to maintain this gold. You can see a Baron buff doesn't get a ton in favor of J-Team. 1,400 gold gained from the Baron, which isn't a big deal. If you are the side of Machi, able to stem the bleeding for the most part, and now you're just waiting for that third item really to come through. Because over on the side of J-Team, they already have 3 items onto that Gangplank. Still a collector, which again, I don't really agree with, given the fact that there is Mountain Dragon. If there wasn't Mountain Dragon, I would definitely be a little bit more for it, but Lord Doms just gives so much value if you wanted. Or
we do have Rest being forced to flash away. Gemini gets the kickback, and that goes the pirate down. He is. Gemini will trade his own life for it, but still a worthwhile exchange as we have the Gravitum now onto Atlan, but no one there to follow up anymore. G-Man going back in for some more poke. Mission still is on the side lane. He's just been playing PvE this entire series, and this time it's working out.
This time it is working out, but it's because of how much peel they have for Lil V on this Aphelios. As they now have a Trundle Pillar and they now have a Rel. As it is Gemini able to find the angle onto Rest. It was really well done.
Oh, the prediction.
Read him like a book. I mean, if he doesn't flash there, he eats the entire culling. And it's still a rough time. He still might have died there. And the fact that he flashes, at the very least, delivers Gemini to his team.
That's true. So they do get 1 comeback kill on that one, and it will be over to Lil V. At this point, we're seeing that Lil V is getting slightly out of control. Machi finding it hard to actually reach the backline against this team composition. They will get another try at the Dragon Soul in 48 seconds here. But I think it's safe to say that the damage from Machi is starting to drop off. They just can't pick their targets off soon enough. Only Lee Kai, the only one with a sizable amount of sustained damage actually on the team. We'll see how they play this one, as they do have full vision control. J-Team will be the ones to have to face check at some point.
They do have double Serelda's Grudge, so the poke is pretty solid, and they also have the slows coming in for extra utility here.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
All
To
about
rest,
the
and we
single
have
target.
Koala being caught across
Koala,
the wall.
he-
Could just be going down. Has to flash away from that one. Solar Flare
Okay,
onto
the
the front line
turn.
Mission. Very low HP.
Lot of time
Here he is
bought.
stuck in no man's land. Gets stunned down, and that goes Mission. He's down. Woody going in though. Holding down the choke. It's already 2 kills on Gemini, but so far Lil V is untouched, and he has the Severum to chase people down. Woo!
Whiffs
Good
it.
dodge from Gemini. Able to get out of the Moonlight Vigil, but he still wants to stay around here. J-Team, this fight is very hairy as Likai has the TP. He's looking to come back in onto this one. Machi will start to aggro the Drake. As Mountain Drake heads over towards Little V's way. They're
It's
holding
still red
onto
buff
it.
on him.
You can see the pings coming down. In comes the TP. J-Team, they now have to back out. As we
starting
have
to
the
become
catch being
relevant.
chased into a Gemini going in. We have Rest using the Zanyas, and Rest going forward, but he will go down. Lil V still left. He has great guns for this,
Oh, he
but he
whiffed.
misses his skill shots. Not able to find it. Chains of Corruption go wide as well. Gemini, can he fight this
he's
fight
so
as
low.
the jungler is resetting here? Lil V still standing strong, holding alive. He's kept 2 already, and Gemini has to flash out. This Drake again will go over to JT.
It's going to be a second dragon going into their favor here as Hua makes his way over. He's not going to be able to do a whole lot though, as now Mission will zone him off, and Lil V takes an last arrow before that dragon falls. And J-Team, they managed to squeak out yet another team fight victory. Really by the skin of their teeth, and now that they have a second mountain, slowly but surely, these fights are going to become more and more easy. Because now you're going to have those extra resistances. It will be more and more difficult to one-shot Lil V, and it also means Hana and Mission become all that more durable as well.
This was so incredibly tense just watching this team fight develop. Rest, he is like a glass cannon. Lee Kai's a glass cannon. Jimian as well. And then Lil V with the flash forward. If Chains of Corruption landed here, the fight would have gone completely a different direction. It was all down to execution here. I will say, Jimian started this game very low on kills, but through all these skirmishes, he's actually been picking up now. He's already at 4 kills. J-Team now with an engage. Mission coming in on the side, gets a slow onto 2. Lee Kai goes down immediately. J-Team now on full chase down. Raptum gonna land on the Atlan. Goodbye, Varus. G-Man on the side can't do anything to help his team. And this is now 5 versus 3. J-Team can decide between the base or the Baron. They will continue this push for now. Probably an open inhibitor to take down Gemini and Gemini in the back line, but do they have the burst damage? That's the question. There are a lot of hard stuns coming in from J-Team.
They're cutting off
cut
the wave.
But J-Team are moving on regardless. They could just be looking to finish this one off. Lee Kai is 11 seconds away. Koala, once again, just getting caught. Koala has not been on his game today whatsoever. This is honestly like the 4th time in this game where he's just walked way too close to J-Team for no reason.
At the very least, he is able to stop the push as the wave was also being cut off, so didn't have another wave coming in soon enough for J-Team to look to end, and now they're going to turn their attention over to Baron buff. This game, it's gone a little bit too long for Machi. They have to make a hero play now.
G-Man's gonna find a lot of damage here, but they can't make it towards the Baron. Hana does secure it in the very end through the piercing arrow. Woody will go down. Gemini trying to hold the front down, does a lot of damage.
Can they
with
chase?
The Gore Drinker, but Lil V just doing too much damage. G-Man cannot face take at this point. 3 shots and he's gone. So J-Team will take the big objective plus the 10,000 gold lead.
And the big thing is, even with that 1-for-1 chase trade, they weren't able to chase. And that just doesn't spell good things for the side of Machi. It looks like we are headed into back-to-back game 5s. Woody's the one that gets kicked by Gemini. And while this Lee Sin pick looked great early on, he is past his expiration date, along with pretty much the majority of Machi. At the very least, you do have a Sorelda's Grudge, the percent armor pen on both of your AD carries, but no voice staff picked up by Jimmy, and he's going for a more poke-oriented build with the second item Cosmic Drive, now the third item Zanya's. It's going to be more and more difficult to try and finish off these members on side of J-Team.
Right now, Machi lacks the damage, and they certainly don't have tankiness. They're solely relying on J-Team to make a mistake here. As Lil V, as long as he stays safe, I don't think Machi can dissuade this push. Great find onto Rest. Let's take about half his HP and forces out the oranges, so it will buy some respite. But double cannons hammering home onto Machi's bottom inhibitor. Will go down. Now, Livy takes a little bit of damage, but once again, we see the Trundle Pillar stop down. Gemini trying to look for the angle. He does have the flash and the blue smite. Lil V still missing his flash for now, so he has to play pretty safe these couple of seconds here. Gemini still hanging around. J-Team will go forward. Perfect concave here, but Mission with this straight up stun is going to be holding down the back fort while Lil V actually moves into the point. J-Team got what they came here for. Now they're happy to back out, looking for that third Drake on the map.
It's just an escort the president formation coming in from J-Team, and it's working to very easy success. This Lil V doesn't really have to worry about any danger at the moment because of how much protection he is getting from Mission, from Hana, from Woody. That means they're able to secure themselves a third Mountain Dragon. That pretty much is it, in my opinion, because look at Jimin's build. He's not even going for a voice item. He's going for a large rod, so he still can't poke through all those extra resistances.
Yeah, his build is basically, I need a side lane and hopefully I get something. In team fights, he is so paper thin at this point. And Likai, look at how far behind he is compared to Rest. Rest is 4 items completed. Likai is 2.5. There is no damage on Machi. They literally cannot kill anyone on the opposing team at this point. And Lil V, I love his build here, just going straight Guardian's Angel. Third item is just, I just don't want to die. If I stand up a second time, you don't have the burst potential.
It's also just the strongest combination for one last fight. You have those extra lives to utilize to make up for any mistakes. And over on the side of Machi, they don't have those extra tools necessarily. They have Zanya's on to Jimian, but again, the QSS probably does a better job of that. And here it is.
He goes in and in follows Mission. They will target the back line. Gemini try to keep his front alive, but Atlan goes down. Nothing he can do right there. So does Koala as he's trying to find the back. Gemini just running away. Lil V able to flash forward and finish off the kills. We are queuing the Silver Scrapes. We are heading to game 5. JT now just crossing their T's, dotting their I's, finishing off the enemy base. Mission gonna come back with another TP. And Likai gets the kill on Mission at the very least, just sending him a message. But J-Team will take the series to the distance.
J-Team, they will indeed be able to send us to a game number 5. And this was a pretty cut and dry composition. You're going to concede a lot of priority in that early game, and it's all about the scaling factor on your composition. You have the Gangplank and you have the Lissandra just to carve open space for this Aphelios pick. And while the early game was pretty solid from the side of Machi, it quickly fizzled out, and you saw they didn't have the damage, they didn't have the dive to pressure this Aphelios pick.
It was honestly a very winnable game from Machi, but their main mistakes were just giving over 5,000 gold in 2 minutes. Like, when all they had to do was just sit and wait for the Dragon Soul, which they had full vision control over. So, yeah, that was super weird in my part, and there was some very obvious mistakes, like Gemini kicking himself back into the J-Team squad rather than going over the wall, and Koala just going so close. So I feel like we're seeing frayed nerves from Machi. Like, they're trying to hold things together, but their inexperience, the fatigue that's settling in after playing a best-of-5 series yesterday, I think is starting to get to them.
Yeah, and that is definitely something to consider, given the fact that J-Team, they did have an extra day to prepare, also mentally reset, whereas Machi, they had a very grueling day yesterday. It's not like J-Team, where even though it went to 4 games, the 3 games that they won afterwards were pretty straightforward. It was never really in doubt.
Yeah.
For the side of Machi, it was very, very back and forth. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, or win at the very end. And they're going to look to try and swing things back into their favor. Game number 5, I expect them to go back over to red side, as both of these have figured it out. It's about that top lane focus here. And this time they will be able to save counterpick for top lane, even though they did get a counterpick here. It didn't prove to be as useful, and perhaps Machi will also opt into a little bit more team fight when it comes to their composition.
I think they went full on early game tempo, but the lanes didn't go as well as they expected. They got ganked early, and especially I feel like their Herald play was very suspect. They lost Koala midway, and they just gave over too many turret plates to actually equalize. We are going to be looking at just mainly the drop-off from the 20-minute mark all the way to like 22. That was just weird from Machi. I think that's where they really lost the game. Like, it's okay to lose some gold if you're up 3 Drakes, but J-Team were able to secure the next 3 Drakes afterwards. So Machi just not positioning very well across the board, and I think they will be going, as you said, for a little bit more team fight, maybe just a tad bit more 1-3-1 potential, a bit more scaling, something like that.
I think the big problem was the fact that they wanted to do a little bit 1-3-1 when they probably should have looked for a bit more ARAM style, given the fact that they had the Siege available with this Lucian ultimate and pick power coming in from the Varus. But Lil V will get the MVP as expected. It was protect the president, and protect the president. That did happen. Lil V just pumped out so much damage because he was able to stay safe. And 8-1-9.
You were talking
Excellent
about like
score.
3-item Aphelios being scary. This was 5-item. I think it was full build at the end. So, you get Aphelios at that stage. I don't think 1-3-1 actually beats Aphelios at that point anymore. I think Aphelios just clicks the ground and starts to take over team fights. Very well done. Good showcase from Lil V. We are going to be queuing the Silver Scrapes. Hopefully, production, you guys got that one ready to go. And let's see who's going to come out and challenge Beyond Gaming and PSG next week between Machi Esports and Taipei J-Team.